Dude, yesterday I went to Jason the Ween's birthday party, which, if you guys don't know, Jason the Ween turned 21 yesterday. And for his birthday, he decided to live stream like 16 hours, but more importantly, throw a birthday party that was also streamed. And not just by him, there was like 4 or 5 different people streaming. I don't even know how many people. There was a handful of people who were all streaming there. And so I won't lie. It's not my scene. It's not exactly my ideal Friday night, but, I wanted to support Jason for his birthday. So I decided I would go, I'd give him a gift, and then I would leave. That was my game plan. I was going to go with Cutie, give him a gift, and leave. Now, the first thing I noticed about this party is on the invite, it said, no parking. You must Uber. Oh, shit. Did they need a chaperone? Good one. Anyway, I ride my Vespa to the party because it said no parking. You must Uber, but I figured a Vespa, you can kind of cheat all the rules. So I get there. And it turns out exactly as I thought. I see a good parking spot. But as I'm driving up to the spot, there's like a big ass headlight. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a giant single beam of light on the street. And all I can see is the silhouette of a man who looks like this. And that's all I can see. Yeah, it's like a spotlight behind this man on the street, and he's just standing there. And in his hand is a leash, and on the other end of a leash is just the most authentic, classic white woman dog. That white dog that's no longer white, hasn't been for about 8 years, got yellow crusties all over its face, it's yapping the whole time. That's the dog that's in his hand. Okay? And so in my phone, the address says to go down the hill. So I'm going down the hill, and the guy steps in front of my Vespa. Now, bear in mind, my Vespa is a small vehicle. I can get around this man, so I go around. He steps in front of my vehicle. It's a decision by him. And he goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm going down the hill." And he said, "No, you're not." And I go, "That's where it says I'm supposed to go." And he says, "What's your last name?" And for whatever reason, I lie. I don't know why. I lie. I go Parker, like Peter Parker. I don't know why I lied. I did nothing wrong. I was completely sober. I just decided to lie. So I said Parker, like Peter Parker. And that's when I realized I fucked up. Not even because I lied, but because I didn't listen to what he actually said. Because he didn't say, "What is your last name?" He said, "What is the last name of the person's house you're going to?" I didn't word it exactly like that. But I knew that's what he said because after I said Parker, he said nobody by the name of Parker lives down there. And so I went, "Well, that doesn't make sense, sir, because that's my last name." And I'm going there. Because now I was defensive about my lie. So he goes, "Do you live down there?" And I go, "Well, I'm a DoorDash worker, sir. So what do you think?" Because we're in a really nice neighborhood in LA. A second lie, you might have noticed. And he goes, "Well, show me your phone." And I show him the map app. Proudly, I go, "Here it is." And he looks at it for a second, and then I realize I fucked up. Not because the first lie, not because I got defensive about the first lie and did a second lie, because the address of the house I was going to wasn't even behind him or the spotlight. It was actually in front of him. And what had been happening all night is people had made the same mistake I made. Were trying to go down the hill to a non-existent house party because the house party was actually up the hill. And it was just a error on the map's end. So he was basically being the neighborhood watch, trying to stop people from going down the hill because he's annoyed at this party. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, directly next to him is a family's driveway, and it's blocked off with cones. A woman is standing in between the cones as if a car was going to navigate through that on the phone with the police. And already I'm like, I don't want to be here. this is not my scene. I am a 29-year-old trying to go to a 21-year-old's birthday party. Doesn't make any damn sense. So I sit there and I realize I actually made quite good time because I went on my Vespa and Cutie was Ubering with extra Emily. So I waited for her. I waited she was like 8 minutes behind me. So I was just waiting for her. I was sitting there. And as I'm sitting there, there's like a garage door to the party. It opens up. 30 people walk out. Okay? All scantily clad women who look either 19 or 39. It's really hard to tell because they're all just wearing the same exact fit and hella makeup. And I have no idea how old anyone is. I am wearing sweatpants and a white tank top because I had come from the stream. I just look like this, and I have a motorcycle helmet on. And as the garage opens, I'm like, oh, this is my opportunity. I'll get inside a bit early. I'll hand my gift off, and I'll leave right away. And as I go inside, there's a security guard, and he's like, where are you going? And I was like, inside. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to lie to this guy. Okay, because my last lies failed. The truth will set me free. I decided not to lie. So I'm just trying to go inside. I'm a friend of Jason's. Which might not have been the right reply. Because his response was kind of like, yeah, sure. Everybody's a fan of Jason's. So my truth, I think, actually came off like a lie. You know, because presumably, if you heard of this party from a friend or saw it online or whatever, you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to Jason's party, Jason the Ween. But I am friends with Jason. I was trying to say happy birthday. So he's like, well, you got to wait out here. You got to wait. You got to call someone from inside and get you out. And I'm looking through my phone and I'm like, I don't know anyone in there. I know Jason, but I can't call Jason the Ween on his birthday to get me into the party. It's just too big of an ask. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait for my girlfriend. She'll figure it out. Ray was in there. That was actually my only other solution. I did message Ray. That's what I thought. I messaged Valkyrie. I said, hello, are you here? Apparently, she left instantly. She said, I knew you were coming, but I didn't want to wait. Sorry, let me rephrase. She said, I knew you were coming, but I didn't know how long it would be. Which basically was, I didn't want to wait. Okay, I fucking paraphrased, but that's basically what she said. So anyway, I'm just waiting for Cutie. The guy who wouldn't let me into the party goes, do you have any cigarettes? Me in a half lie, I go, nah, I quit. Which is true, I haven't smoked cigarettes in months. But I was never that on cigarettes to give myself the the title of having quit. And I'm waiting. When all of a sudden, somebody who works at FaZe comes out and they recognize me. This guy comes out. His name's Saeed. He's really nice. He's like, hey, I work with FaZe and we talk. And he's like, do you want to get in? And at this point, Cutie's like a couple minutes away. I'm like, nah, I'll just wait for Cutie. And then Cutie shows up and I realize how big of an error I made in not getting dressed for this party, looking at her outfit because she looks awesome. And again, I'm wearing a fucking wife beater with stains on it. In fact, I think it's this exact one. So we get in the party, and the first thing I notice, it is hot. It is hot in there. Like 85 degrees hot. There is no air conditioning. And if you don't know right now, the reason I'm dressed up like a douchebag every stream is not because I am one, although I am. It's because there is a heat wave. It is 96 degrees peaking here. Yesterday was like 92 degrees. So even though it was like I think straight up midnight, it was still 85 degrees inside of that place. It was colder outside than inside. Because there's no AC and they didn't keep windows open because they didn't want people to sneak in and stuff.
Party popper emoji.
So we walk in and the party's interesting because it's broken up into like two groups of people. The group of people who are allowed to be in the private area where Jason is streaming, and then the people who want to be in the private area where Jason's streaming, but they're not allowed in that area. And my first thought is, damn, the streaming game has changed. I'm looking around, I'm like, this shit is run by 20 to 23-year-olds who are actually just fucking riding this line that is completely blurred on what is their life and what is their content. Because they're basically the same thing. And I'm looking at this party and I'm like, this is not going to make a good YouTube video. There's no title or thumbnail to be had here. But they don't give a shit about that. It's just keep the camera on, maybe do some crazy shit, maybe farm a clip. It's a different lifestyle. It's a different lifestyle out here. But you know, we're walking through and I actually really don't recognize many people. I see Lacey. I pat him on the shirt. He didn't look up at me. I don't think he recognized me. So I go, okay, that's cool. I was going to talk about how you had been kicked from FaZe, but then not kicked from FaZe, but then now you're back in FaZe. But that's okay. I move on. I look around. I see your rage. Say hello. Say hello to a couple other people I recognize. And then finally, I see Jason. All right. He's in this private room, which is just like a theater or something. And they let us in, I think because I'm being escorted by Cutie. And we do the whole cake thing, you know. Cutie gives the cake, light the candle, he blows out the candle. And I actually gave Jason a gift. Okay? And you guys might be a little bit mad about me, or mad at me for this, but I gave Jason a gift. Because what I think every 21-year-old man needs, it's when you turn from a boy to a man, is a little bit of tungsten. So I gave Jason our tungsten sphere. Now, I did not give him Cubert Jr. I made a choice. I thought Cubert Jr. and Cubert are too important to the sphere, but too important to the stream. But the Spherebert, that's fine. That can go to Jason. Technically, Spherebert's worth more than Cubert Jr., but I can't really display him because he rolls everywhere. So he wasn't even on stream for like weeks anyway. You guys didn't even know. You guys didn't even fucking know. Don't even fucking pretend Spherebert was family. You haven't asked about him since I opened him. So anyway, I did that. I said hello to some other people. But for the most part, walking around that party, you know, for most streamed events, and I'm not saying this to brag, but like if I go to like a TwitchCon or something, I'll get recognized by a lot of people, specifically like other creators. No other creators really came up to me, like maybe one or two, but no other creators really came up to me. But I was getting stopped by people. But what I noticed is the only people who were stopping to say hi, big fan, were the cameramen of other creators. Like, I'm not lying. Every single cameraman came up to me. They would be filming their like streamer, like whoever they're supposed to film. And they go, yo, Ludwig, big fan, man. I love all your content. And they go back to doing their job, which, to be totally honest, I was flattered by. I'm the working man's creator. Okay, I'm the working man's. I'm not a creator for the creator. I'm the creator for the working man of the creator. That's a fine spot to be in. I don't mind that. I'm proud of that spot. Those are good people. Those are hardworking people. And we step out after a little bit. It's like, again, 85 degrees in this room. I'm parched. I'm looking for water. As I ask somebody for water, instead of water, they hand me like a fifth of alcohol. And I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? I drove a Vespa here, okay? As is, there's a high chance I'm going to die on the way home. A sip of this and I'm guaranteeing it. Like, what are we doing here, bro? I want a fucking water. And the only water that was available was the tap water. I didn't trust it. I left. Parched as a motherfucker. And as I'm leaving, it is just like, it's a crazy scene, bro. It's not even like a frat party. I assume this is what really rich people in LA's parties look like. Because it was just a nonstop rotation of Uber Blacks. Never an Uber X. I didn't see one Uber X. It was only Uber Blacks, just like clockwork, you know, like it's the fucking rich terminal at LAX. Only Chevy Suburbans. So I hop into my little fucking Vespa. I drove my Vespa. And I click it on. And, you know, all these people fucking dress up for the party. And then it's me on my Vespa going ring, ding, 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 ding. And I was trying to sneak out undetected. Unfortunately for me, the only person who noticed me exit this party on my Vespa was Kason on the way out. Kason on the way out sees me, goes, drive safe. I go, fuck, thank you. As I ring, ding, 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 ding out of the party. And I really acknowledged for the first time, you know, because it's obviously been happening. But I acknowledged for the first time, man, Twitch is different. Twitch is different. It is not the same Twitch that it was when I started watching. It's not the same Twitch that it was when I started streaming. It's a different scene, man. And I think I get it, man. I think I understand it. Like, I'm not even hating on it, to be clear. I think what I try to do is like I'm trying to come on stream and do some shit that's entertaining, and oftentimes that packages in to a YouTube video, right? Something condensed, something with a format, a structure, a goal, some stakes. You know, I've talked about it ad nauseum. You probably know. But I think the new creators, what they try to do is just like share their life as intimately as possible in all facets. My 21st birthday, I meal prepped at my house. I couldn't imagine cameras being on me for that. I scheduled my night to go out to the bar, and then I burned my hands meal prepping, so I didn't end up going out. That was my 21st. But now it's low-key like, you know, let's do Project X, but live streamed. I was in conversations with people last night. I didn't even know there was a camera on us. I was like in a conversation with somebody and we're talking about like my dad being from outside of Stockholm. And then I looked over and it was like a fucking flashlight. And I was like, oh, fuck, we're live? What up? I didn't even know. I had no clue. Is that your Oppenheimer moment? No, because I don't think it's bad. I actually don't think it's bad. Here's what I think it's bad for maybe is the people. I think, you know, I think it's important to create some boundaries as a creator yourself for your own personal sanity and health. You know, you don't want to become a caricature of a human where every lived experience is on stream and you can't so much as talk to a fucking another human without going, chat, was that a fucking good thing to say? That's maybe bad. But I can see the appeal. There's a good appeal to it. There's a good appeal to like that level of insight on somebody. It's basically Truman Show. I think Truman Show is an outdated example. I think people called My Subathon Truman Show, which maybe might have been accurate at the time. But I think the stream also shapes how they live their life. You see what I'm saying? Like Truman Show was live streaming this guy's life, but he didn't know he was being live streamed. So he was living his life more authentically to how he thought he was supposed to lead it. Now you're leading your life in a more exaggerated manner because the way you lead your life is, you know, is being seen. So Black Mirror, I feel like saying so Black Mirror is just like a lazy way to like contextualize it. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes people just hear phone or stream or YouTube or technology or AI and they just go Black Mirror. And like, yeah, there's probably a Black Mirror that covers it, but that's, you know, about as insightful as being like, oh, so like The Simpsons did it or some shit. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's advancing the conversation much, but maybe that's also because I stopped watching Black Mirror 4 years ago. But anyway, you know, I'm not saying this all to say that this is going to pivot how I do my stuff. You know, this is ultimately for the young men. This is the young man's game. I don't think you guys would want me to go that way, to be frank. We're just old in this joint now. We got to be okay with that.